Concept cars serve as thrilling glimpses into the future, igniting our excitement for vehicles that often never hit the production line. Despite their limited chances of making it to the streets, these cars boast incredible designs, and many times their features hint at what eventually shows up in production models. In this video, we'll delve into the world of some of the most fantastic and legendary muscle and performance car concepts that, unfortunately, never became a reality. Stick around until the end of the video, where we reveal the shocking TVR Speed 12 and the Cadillac 16 car concept that will leave you astonished. Number 10. Audi Aus Quattro. Unveiled in 1981, the Audi Aus Quattro turned heads as one of the first mid-engine concept cars from the German manufacturer. But unlike its performance-focused layout, this prototype didn't feature a conventional powertrain. It actually had a dummy engine made of wood and plastic under the hood. The conceptual nature of this car served two purposes. First, it allowed Audi to experiment with an extensively constructed aluminum body wrapped around a theoretical mid-mounted engine bay. More importantly, it hinted at Audi's ambitions to develop a 12-cylinder power plant in the future. While the 6.0-litre W12 and over 500 horsepower drivetrain specs were purely speculative, the Aus Quattro established Audi as pioneers willing to reimagine the supercar formula. Its innovative layout would ultimately influence Quattro monsters like the R8. Audi reportedly refused sales orders as high as $12 million too, committed to this concept remaining a taste of performance exotica yet to come. Number 9. VW W12 Nardo. You know, it's not always a bad thing when the Germans go crazy a little. Well, I'm not referring to another WW die, but rather this beautiful W12 Nardo concept from Volkswagen in the 1990s. Now, VW cars used to be called V-Dub, due to the distinctive V shape of its iconic flat-four engines featured in classic Beetles. Anyways, people had started calling old V-Dub nothing but people's cars. Boring daily drivers, right? Well, VW wasn't having that. They wanted to show the world just what their engineers were capable of. They wanted to prove a point. In comes the W12 Nardo. Under the swoopy hood laid the maddest engine ever devised. Two narrow-angle VR6 engines together like two clenched fists, each bank of cylinders forcing air through a pair of turbochargers in a unique design. This resulted in immense power, rumoured to be in the neighbourhood of 600 horsepower. I'm no mechanic, but it seems they glued these lumps together with something stronger than chewing gum. And get this was years before VW went and snagged brands like Bentley and Lambo. So, while the gleaming Nardo concept never saw showrooms, it proved VW had supercar genes way back when. They'd later use variations of that wild W12 engine to fuel everything from rocket Bentleys to the world-stomping Veyron. Sometimes you've just got to let the Germans run with their wildest fantasies. Thankfully for us gearheads, Volkswagen did just that with the unhinged yet utterly fantastic W12 Nardo. Number 8. Stein Winter Supercargo. You've got to admire the out-of-the-box thinking that went into this wild rig. The Stein Winter Supercargo from 1983 really took cargo hauling to the extremes. Its designers had a single simple goal: move more stuff farther. And move stuff it did, with an unheard of 150 cubic meters of maximum payload spread across a mind-boggling 18-meter trailer bed. But getting all that volume rolling down the highway meant throwing tradition out the window. Literally. That's because these mad scientist truckers shoved the entire tractor unit under the trailer itself. No more separate cabs. The driver plunged straight into the belly of the beast. Cool idea in theory, but things got real cozy really fast down in the depths. However, the ergonomics of having the driver positioned below proved problematic, with limited visibility and poor cooling for the Mercedes engine powering the truck. Additionally, the concept faced challenges in becoming a viable solution for real-world daily use. While you gotta hand it to Stein and Winter for really thinking outside the box, sometimes crazy concepts are just too crazy for reality. In the end, this record-setting rig rolled straight into the scrapyard as Mercedes pulled its funding. Number 7. Mazda RX Vision. The rotary engine is nothing if not problematic, guzzling fuel like your dad after a nasty divorce. But damn if that thing doesn't rev to the heavens while delivering rush that'll turn you into a cult member real quick. The iconic RX-7 was the pinnacle, a reminder of what zoom excellence we've been missing for far too long. That's what made 2016 so exciting when Mazda dropped the RX Vision concept and teased the glorious return of the rotor. With its sexy swoops and paying homage to the legendary 7, it promised to scratch that itch in the best kind of way. But then, poof. The whole project got canned faster than the expired Skyline takeout after Mazda switched out the CEO. The new suit claimed we'd get more excitement slurping a boring 1.5 Miata. They say there's no such thing as bad publicity, but with Mazda's tease of the RX Vision, they came damn close to proving that theory wrong. Thanks for nothing, Mazda. At least we'll always have the memories of what could have been. Number 6. 1971 Mercury Montego Sports. The 1971 Mercury Montego Sports hauler concept certainly pushed design boundaries for what a station wagon could be. With its faux leather luxury interior and big block V8 muscle hidden under the wood paneling, it hinted at taking the family hauler to new heights of fun and flair. When this concept debuted at the 1971 Chicago Auto Show, it certainly turned heads with its unconventional design. Eager onlookers likely did a double take, noticing the Ranchero-based rear end that made it far too long to be a typical Montego. But what really set it apart was its ability to ferry more than just passengers. The sports hauler incorporated a removable 6x6 mini pickup in the cargo area behind the front seats. This quirky feature is what gave the concept its eye-catching charm and utility. In 1972, the vehicle returned with a sleeker black and copper repaint, though the one-of-a-kind 6x6 cargo component was retained. While boldly envisioning family transport of the future, it's doubtful a production version without the mini truck could have captured the same flair. The crazy 6x6 arrangement is truly what differentiated the sports hauler concept from being just another Ranchero variant. It perfectly blended function and fun for the freewheeling times in a way that was utterly unique for an ostensible station wagon. Though just a prototype, the sports hauler gave a glimpse of Mercury's freewheeling vision for casual cruising in high-powered style. Even if it never made production, the concept's blend of laid-back living and on-demand thrills must have seemed like the perfect vehicle for cruising the expansive suburbs and shopping centres of the era. Number 5. Chrysler Me412 Supercar. Back in the glory days of the 1960s to 70s, Chrysler shocked the world with ridiculously fast muscle like the Charger, Challenger and Roadrunner. While nowadays we know them as pony cars, back then they earned the name supercars. The only production model to live up to the name? The ferocious Dodge Viper that shredded tarmac from 1991 to 2017. But Chrysler's appetite for asphalt domination didn't stop there. After merging with Mercedes, they hatched a secret plan to create a supercar that would make even the Viper blush. Enter the ME412, a mid-engine monster packing 8-killer V12 ponies built in partnership with the mad scientists at AMG. Clad in sexy carbon curves with an interior that oozed luxury, it stopped crowds in their tracks. But the pièce de résistance was an aerospace-inspired drivetrain featuring quad turbos producing an earth-shaking 850 horsepower. With 0, 60 in under 3 seconds and a top speed gnashing 248 miles per hour, it would have sent the Bugatti Veyron packing. Just when it seemed poised to usher in a new era of Chrysler supremacy, the merger went south. The critical Germans pulled the plug, denying the world the chance to witness America's answer to Europe's exotics, unleashing hell on public roads. While only a concept, the forgotten 412 proves to be Chrysler's greatest what if. Number 4. TVR Speed 12. There's Mad, and then there's TVR Mad. The Speed 12 redefined the definition of speed to a whole new stratosphere. Of course, what did we expect when it was literally named Speed 12? Duh. With a Shelby-sourced V8 twisted far beyond sanity to churn out over 1,000 flying horsepower, this British rocket ship was built to consume records, not set them. TVR gave no Fs about notions like restraint. Every spec was designed to attain maximum speed. The key word for this design was lightweight. We're talking a tyre shredding diet, a two-seater cockpit, and enough downforce to launch docked ships. One crack of the throttle would have shots of whiplash so intense you'd need surgery to remove the smile. The Speed 12 lived by the lunatic mentality that risk is its own reward. But even for TVR, a max speed maniac with a quarter-mile attention span, the concept's complete insanity was too hot to handle. It literally broke every safety rule in the book. While the world was robbed of witnessing a record-smashing rocket for the ages, the Speed 12 lives on in legend. Sometimes, madness behind the wheel truly is the purest form of automotive perfection. Number 3. Alfa Romeo Disco Volante. In post-war Italy, Alfa Romeo was itching to push design boundaries, and the 1952 Disco Volante Coupe was their bid to enter orbit. With its sleek, rounded body featuring a low, convex tail, it looked like a flying saucer that touched down from another world, light years ahead of typical 1950s design. Powered by a revised 4-cylinder engine boosting output to a healthy 158 GP, the Disco Volante promised to deliver interplanetary speeds to match its otherworldly look. But what really innovated was its superlight composite aluminum and steel construction technique. While the Disco Volante Coupe never actually took to the track, it was a showcase of Alfa Romeo's aspirations for racing supremacy through aerodynamic science fiction. Just 1 year later, they'd transitioned to a space frame for the record-breaking 6C3000cm. But the Disco Volante's influence can still be seen in numerous Pininfarina concepts that followed. Though we can only imagine the dip into the future this mysterious machine would have provided behind the wheel, its permanent preservation in Italy ensures the Disco Volante's legacy as one of automotive design's earliest warp speed pioneers remains immortalized. Some dreams may never achieve liftoff, but their spirit lives on. Number 2. Ford Nucleon. While cars that can cross continents on a single tank seem like sci-fi today, Ford took the concept for a joyride in 1958 with their Nucleon concept. Fueled by the promise of boundless nuclear energy, it dreamed big. A car averaging 1,000 miles per hour over 5,000 miles between refueling stops. There was just one small hiccup: cramming an entire nuclear reactor into a personal vehicle barely wider or longer than today's compact trucks. At nearly 17 feet long and 6.5 feet wide, the Nucleon's dimensions were utterly absurd given the massive technological barriers. Namely, how to safely harvest and harness the intense heat of a miniature nuclear core into a drivable form. Even top experts admit we still can't bottle that kind of power without glowing consequences. While the Nucleon captured Cold War-era sci-fi fantasies of limitless automotive range, it vanished after barely leaving the drawing board phase, a casualty of the impossible physics rather than a lack of wild imagination. Over half a century later, personal nuclear transport remains the stuff of comic books alone. But the Nucleon serves as a charming reminder that dreaming big often precedes technological breakthroughs, even if we can't reach the stars just yet. Number 1. Cadillac 16. Cadillac showed the world in 2003 that true American luxury still knows how to dream big. Pulling up in the 16 was like cruising the streets of Gotham as Batman, a sensory overload of power and opulence. With its massive butterfly hood rumbling open to a hulking V16 engine worthy of Bruce Wayne himself, the 16 awakened what had laid dormant since the 1930s. A technological work of art blending throwback allure and tomorrow's innovations. From its supple Tuscany leather lair to touchscreen controls that felt straight out of the future, each detail dripped opulence. And yet, its 1,000 horsepower heart yearned to roar, hinting this was no trailer queen, but a titan with track weapons. Alas, mass-producing such excess seemed unlikely, even for GM. But by debuting designs and tech like quadristeer and displacement on demand, the 16 ensured Cadillac's Sixteen vision lived on. Nearly 2 decades later, we glimpse its ghost in every Escalade and XT6. Proof that sometimes a car need only dream to inspire generations in its infinite wake. The 16 was truly a gift from another realm. Thanks for watching. For more videos like this one, be sure to subscribe and hit the like button. Tell us which was your favorite in the comments below. We'll see you in the next video.